ANN/ENN comes from Latin annus, meaning year. An annual event occurs yearly. An anniversary is an example of an annual event, although the older you get the more frequent they seem to be. Annuity money that is payable yearly or on some regular basis, or a contract providing for such payment. Throughout her working career, she invested regularly in annuities that would support her after retirement. Annuities are handy things to have when you retire, since they provide an income on an annual basis or more frequently. Annuities are normally contracts with life insurance companies that specify that payments begin at retirement. Company pensions are traditionally doled out in the form of annuities, and sweepstakes jackpots may also come as annuities. An annuity can be a wise idea if you think you're going to live a long time. However, annuities can be tricky and should only be purchased after carefully comparing the products offered by various companies. Superannuated: 1. Outworn, old-fashioned, or out of date. 2. Forced to retire because of old age or infirmity. He called himself a car collector, but his backyard looked like a cemetery for superannuated clunkers. A superannuated style is out of date, its time has come and gone. And a person who has passed an age limit and been forced to retire may technically be called superannuated. But more often, superannuated describes people who seem somehow to belong to the past. So a 55-year-old surfer might be regarded as superannuated by the young crowd riding the waves in Santa Cruz, and a superannuated hippie might still be dressing the way he did in 1972. Millennium: 1. A period of time lasting 1,000 years, or the celebration of a 1,000-year anniversary. 2. A period of great happiness and perfection on Earth. The first millennium BC saw the rise of important civilizations in Greece, Rome, India, Central America, and China. Since in Latin mil means thousand, see mil, a millennium lasts 1,000 years. Thus, we're living today at the beginning of the third millennium since the birth of Christ. But some religious sects, relying on a prophecy in the biblical book of Revelation, speak of a coming millennium when Jesus will return to reign on earth for 1,000 years, evil will be banished, and all will live in peace and happiness. Members of these sects, who keep themselves in a constant state of preparedness, are called millenarians or millennialists. Perennial: 1. Continuing to grow for several years. 2. Enduring or continuing without interruption. See You in September is a perennial summertime hit among lovesick teenagers. A perennial garden is full of perennials like delphiniums and asters, flowers that continue to bloom year after year. Annuals, by contrast, grow for only a single season and must be replanted annually, and biennials die after 2 years. Evergreens are perennially green. For that reason, they're perennial favorites for Christmas wreaths and decorations. In a similar way, taxes are a perennial political issue, and a perennial political candidate may come back over and over claiming he's the only one who can save us from them. EV comes from the Latin evum, age or lifetime. Though the root occurs in only a few English words, it's related to the Greek aion, age, from which we get the word eon, meaning a very long period of time. Coeval, having the same age or lasting the same amount of time, contemporary. Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, probably written around 700 BC, are coeval with portions of the Hebrew Bible, or Old Testament. Coeval usually describes things that existed together for a very long time or that originated at the same time in the distant past. Thus, astronomers might speak of one galaxy as being coeval with another, and a period in the history of one civilization might be coeval with a similar period in another. As a noun, however, coeval may describe people as well, so, for example, 2 artists who lived and worked at the same time might be described as coevals. Longevity: 1. A long duration of life. 2. Length of life, long continuance. Picasso had a career of remarkable longevity, and was producing plentifully until his death at 91. As living conditions improve and the science of medicine advances, the longevity of the average American has increased greatly, from about 45 years in 1900 to over 75 years today. But the most impressive human longevity is nothing compared to the 400-year lifespan of an ocean clam found near Iceland, or the 5,000-year lifespan of the bristlecone pine, a tree found in the western U.S. We may use longevity to talk not only about actual lives, but also of the useful life of things, the life of your car's tires or the shingles on your roof, for example. Medieval, 1. Relating to the Middle Ages of European history, from about AD 500 to 1500. 2. Extremely out of date. The great cathedral at Chartres in France, finished in 1220, is a masterpiece of medieval architecture. With its roots medi meaning middle, and ev meaning age, medieval literally means of the Middle Ages. In this case, middle means between the Roman Empire and the Renaissance, that is, after the fall of the great Roman state and before the rebirth of culture that we call the Renaissance. This same period used to be called the Dark Ages, since it was believed that in these years civilization all but vanished. And indeed, for most Europeans in these centuries, it was a time of poverty, famine, plague, and superstition, rather than the age of magic, dazzling swordplay, towering castles, and knights in splendid armor displayed in today's graphic novels and video games.